श्री गुरु चरण पद्म केवल भक्ति सद्म
श्री गुरु चरण पद्म केवल भक्ति सद्म
बंदमुए साधन मोते
बंदमुए साधन मोते
যাহার প্রসাদে ভাই এ ভবত দিয়া যায়
যাহার প্রসাদে ভাই এ ভবত দিয়া যায়
কৃষ্ণ প্রাপ্তি হয় যাহা হইতে
কৃষ্ণ প্রাপ্তি হয় যাহা হইতে
গুরুমুখ পদ্ম বাক চিতেতে করিয়া যজ্ঞ
গুরুমুখ পদ্ম বাক্য চিত্তে করিয়া ঐক্য
আর না করিহ মনে আশা
আর না করিহ মনে আশা
শ্রী গুরু চরণে রতি এই সে উত্তম গতি
শ্রী গুরু চরণে রতি এই সেই উত্তম গতি
যে প্রসাদে করে সর্বয়াশা
যে প্রসাদে পুরে সর্ব আশা
চক্ষুদান দিলা যে জন্মে জন্মে প্রভু সে
চক্ষুদান দিলা যে জন্মে জন্মে প্রভু সেই
দিব্য জ্ঞান হৃদে প্রকাশিত
জ্ঞান হৃদে প্রকাশিত
প্রেম ভক্তি যাহা হইতে অবিদ্যা বিনাশ যাতে
প্রেম ভক্তি যাহা হইতে অবিদ্যা বিনাশ যাতে
বেদে গায় যাহার চরিত
বেদে গায় যাহার চরিত
শ্রী গুরু করুণা সিন্ধু অধম জনার বন্ধু
শ্রী গুরু করুণা সিন্ধু অধম জনার বন্ধু
লোকনাথ লোকের জীবন
লোকনাথ লোকের জীবন
আহা প্রভু কর দয়া দেহ মোরে পদ ছায়া
আহা প্রভু কর দয়া দেহ মোরে পদ ছায়া
তুয়া পদে লইনু শরণ
আপদে লইনু শরণ
এবে যশ ঘোষ ত্রিভুবন
এবে জল গোচকে ভুবন
হরে কৃষ্ণ 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 হরে 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 রাম 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 হরে হরে
হরে কৃষ্ণ 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 হরে 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 রাম 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 হরে হরে
জয় গুরুদেব জয় গুরুদেব জয় গুরুদেব
Offering by Srila Bhakti Sundar Sannyasi Maharaj, present Acharya of Sri Gaudiya Mission. My most affectionate Pujapad Bhakti B B Bodhayan Maharaj, Acharya of Sri Gopinath Gaudiya Math. It is of my great pleasure to write to you on your auspicious birthday. You are one of the shining stars in the sky of the ever-growing divine family of His Divine Grace, Nityadila Pravishta Ashtautara Shatashi Shrimad Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Goswami Prabhupada, Leading a strict saintly life, you have devoted your life for preaching and spreading the philosophy of Lord Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. I praise your untiring effort of spreading Gaudiya messages to every nook and corner of the world, both physically as well as through cyber media, be it in any language of the world for the benefit of mankind. Your respect and regards to Srila Prabhupada is incomparable. By the divine grace of Srila Prabhupada, you have joined your efforts with us, the Gaudiya mission, the direct lineage of Srila Prabhupada, to highlight the gorgeous glories of Jagadguru Srila Prabhupada flawlessly around the world on the occasion of his 150th birth anniversary. I am obliged to you for your full-hearted cooperation and coordination for whatever occasion we called you to join us. May your divine effort be endless and immortal. May Lord Chaitanya's unconditional mercy be bestowed upon you to the path of Goloka. Srila Bhakti Sundar Sannyas Maharaj.
गुरुपाद पद्म नित्यकाल जययुक्त हूँ, प्रभुपाद नित्यकाल जययुक्त हूँ, वैष्णव बिंद जययुक्त हूँ। हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे हरे, हरे राम 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 हरे हरे। কৃষ্ণ ভক্তি জন্মমূল হয় সাধু সঙ্গ। তা পূজ্যপাল মহারাজ বৈষ্ণব বংশে তিনি আবির্ভূত হন। বৈষ্ণব বংশে আবির্ভাব হবার পরে তার যে মামার দাদু অর্থাৎ মদনমোহন প্রভুর সঙ্গে তার উপদেশে নির্দেশে প্রথম থেকেই তিনি গৌড়ীয় অধ্যয়ন করেন। তারপরে পূজ্যপাদ মদনমোহন প্রভুর সঙ্গে এক সময় বাগবাজার গৌড়ীয় মঠে মহারাজ গিয়েছিলেন। সেখানে 1 মাস অবস্থান করে সেখানেও মদনমোহন প্রভু তাকে গৌড়ীয়ই আস্বাদন করিয়েছিলেন। 1982 সালে যখন শ্রী চৈতন্য গৌড়ীয় মঠ যখন বিগ্রহ প্রতিষ্ঠা হয়, সেই সময় মদনমোহন প্রভুর প্রায় 1 মাস এই পুরীধামে অবস্থান করে আমাদের অসীম প্রভুকে বহু প্রভুপাদের নিজজন সেই সব সাধু সঙ্গ, সাধু দর্শন এবং সেই সাধুদের মুখ থেকে হরিকথা শ্রবণ করেন। তারপরে মদনমোহন প্রভু তিনি কৃপা করে 1986 সালে আমাদের গুরুপাদ পদ্ম নিত্যলীলা বৈষ্ণব বিষ্ণুপাদ অষ্টপরিপাতি সে ভক্তিপ্রমোদ পুরী গোস্বামী ঠাকুরের শ্রী চরণে হরিনাম গ্রহণের সুযোগ করে দেন। তারপরে এই সময়ই মহারাজের সঙ্গে আমার মায়াপুরে প্রথম দর্শন হয় গৌর পূর্ণিমার সময়। সেই সময় মহারাজ তখন কদমতলায় বঙ্গবাসী কলেজে তিনি অধ্যয়ন করছিলেন। বঙ্গবাসী কলেজ মানে গ্র্যাজুয়েশন কমপ্লিট পরে মহারাজ কিছুদিন মামার সঙ্গে কিশোরী অয়েল মিলে তিনি কাজ করেন। কিন্তু এই সময়ে মহারাজের প্রশাসন বিভাগ থেকে যে চাকুরির সুযোগ এসেছিল। যাই হোক, তারপরে ভগবত ইচ্ছায় মহারাজ অর্থাৎ অসীম প্রভু অচ্যুতানন্দ প্রভু তখন তার পিতৃদেব অর্থাৎ সুনীল প্রভুর সঙ্গে মায়াপুর ধাম দর্শন করতে মায়াপুরে গিয়েছিলেন। তখন আমাদের গুরুদেব আমাদের সুনীল প্রভুকে বলেছিলেন যে বাবা, তোমার তো 4 জন ছেলে, তা তোমার একটা ছেলেকে দাও না, আমার এখানে সেবা করবে। তা তখন সুনীল প্রভু বলেছিলেন যে আমার কোনো আপত্তি নেই, সে যদি রাজি হয় থাকবে। তখন মহারাজ তখন তার দাদু অর্থাৎ মদনমোহন কাছে অনুমতি নিতে গিয়েছিলেন। মদনমোহন প্রভু মানে এখনই তুমি চলে যাও, কেবল মাকে দণ্ডবোধ করে বলবে মা আমি মঠে যাচ্ছি, এইভাবে তুমি চলে যাবে। তারপরে 1990 সালে গুরুদেব দীক্ষা প্রদান করেন। দীক্ষা প্রদানের পরে শাস্ত্রে আছে দীক্ষাকালে শিষ্য করে আত্মসমর্পণ, সেই কালে কৃষ্ণ তারে করে আত্মসম। তা মহারাজ দীক্ষা গ্রহণের পরে তিনি গুরু শিষ্যের যে কর্তব্য যে গুরু সেবা, সে মহারাজ তিনি দীক্ষা গ্রহণের পরেই পর থেকেই তিনি গুরুদেবের সেবায় আত্ম উৎসর্গ করেন। আর গুরুদেবের সঙ্গে মহারাজ বিভিন্ন তীর্থস্থান দর্শন করেন এবং বহু সাধু সঙ্গ হয়, বহু বৈষ্ণব সঙ্গ হয় এবং গুরুদেবের নির্দেশ অনুসারে গুরুদেবের তদানীন্তর গুরুদেবের সেবার মধ্যে গুরুদেবের সেই কলিকাতা চৈতন্যগড়ে অবস্থানকালীন সে 3 তলা থেকে নিচে নেমে বাসন মাজা, গুরুদেবের জন্য ভোগ রন্ধন করা, বহিরাগত ভক্তরা এলে তাদের আপ্যায়ন করা, তারপরে গুরুদেবের সেবা করার পরে নতুন মঠ, সেই মঠের জন্য তিনি দুপুরে তিনি সামান্য প্রসাদ পেয়ে তিনি কলকাতায় ভিক্ষায় বেরিয়ে যেতেন। ভিক্ষায় বেরিয়ে সেখান থেকে অর্থ সংগ্রহ করে মায়াপুরে মঠে সেবা করতেন। মহারাজ নিরলস, মহারাজ আলস্যতা ছিল না, তিনি আলস্যতা ছিল না, তিনি সবসময় যে কিভাবে মঠ পরিচালনা হবে, কিভাবে মঠের উন্নতি হবে, সেই জন্য তিনি সবসময় তিনি চেষ্টা করতেন। আর তখন মহারাজ খুব বুদ্ধিমান ছিলেন, খুব আইনজ্ঞ ছিলেন, সেই জন্য সেই সময়ে নতুন মঠটিকে তিনি সোসাইটিতে তিনি রেজিস্ট্রেশন করেন এবং অদ্যপি আমাদের আমি আমার কথা থেকে বলছি, এখানে আমাদের বিভিন্ন মঠের বিভিন্ন সমস্যা আছে, কিন্তু আমাদের মঠে আমরা শান্তিতে এখানে মহারাজের আনুগত্যে আমরা শান্তিতে অবস্থান করছি মহারাজের নির্দেশ অনুযায়ী। কাজেই এই মহারাজের যে জীবনচরিত্র এটা অত্যন্ত অদ্ভুত। তাই গুরুদেব তার সেবায় সন্তুষ্ট হয়ে এবং তার যে ব্যক্তিত্বটা, তার যে প্রতিভা, সেইটা দর্শন করে আমাদের গুরুদেব তাকে তারই স্থলাভিষিক্ত অর্থাৎ আচার্য রূপে আমাদের গুরুদেব মহারাজকেই তিনি প্রতিষ্ঠা করেন। বাঞ্ছা কল্পতরুভ্যশ্চ কৃপা সিন্ধু।
Offering by Srila Bhaktinandan Swami Maharaj. All glories to Sri Guru Gauranga Radha Gopinath Jiu. Hare Krishna. Let me say a few words on the happy occasion of my spiritual brother, relative, Sri Srimad Bhakti Vibhuddha Bodhayan Maharaj's holy birthday. Since I and Srimad Bhakti Vibhuddha Bodhayan Maharaj have known each other for a long time, I naturally have many nice memories of him. We met for the first time around 1986-1987 in Sri Chaitanya Saraswat Mat in Navadvip. That time he came to kindly bring one Brazilian devotee who wanted to take a darshan of my Guru Maharaj, Srila Bhakti Rakshak Sridhar Dev Goswami Thakur, and hear his Harikatha. In those days, Srila Maharaj's name was Achyutananda Das Brahmachari. Although that time we spoke only shortly, I was left with a very pleasant and positive impression of him. Srila Maharaj was later involved in preparation of my sannyas ceremony. When I was conferred upon the holy order of sannyas by Gurudev, His Divine Grace, Srila Bhakti Pramod Puri Goswami Thakur, he assisted Srila Gurudev so efficiently and took care of everything in that sacred sannyas ceremony very nicely with love and care. Gurudev Srila Puri Goswami Thakur was so pleased by that. While I was staying in Sri Chaitanya Gaudiya Math in Kolkata for some time, I could see how attentively and lovingly he was serving our spiritual master, Srila Bhakti Pramod Puri Goswami Thakur. He used to help Srila Gurudev with many of his daily tasks with all good care. He was also involved in cooking bhog and managing the newly started Sri Gopinath Gaudiya Math of that time. He engaged in preaching for Srila Gurudev's mission and managed finances for his temple expenses, including printing of devotional magazines and books about Srila Gurudev and Srila Prabhupada, His Divine Grace Srimad Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Goswami Thakur. Thus, in course of time, he became dear to His Divine Grace Srila Gurudev Bhakti Pramod Puri Goswami Thakur because of such important service contributions. I have many other memories. After all, we have lived in the temple together and practiced our spiritual lives in devotional happiness that related to the divine. Today, I wish him a very happy birthday and a longer life with higher spiritual prosperity and achievement. All glories to His Divine Grace, Srimad Bhakti Rakshak Sridhar Goswami Thakur. All glories to His Divine Grace, Srimad Bhakti Pramod Puri Goswami Thakur. All glories to Jagat Guru, His Divine Grace, Srimad Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Goswami Thakur Prabhupada. With affectionate pranam and well wishes for him, God Brother Bhakti Nandan Swami. Offering by Srila Bhakti Sharan Damodar Maharaj. Pranams. I wish to share a few memoirs of Srila Bodhayan Maharaj. This was the early days of 1994 when Gurudev was in the Gaudiya Math in Kolkata. I remember visiting the Gaudiya Math at that time after my initiation. In those days, the only servant was Srila Bodhayan Maharaj. I used to sleep the nights on the corridor at that time to get association of Gurudev. But fact of the matter, the in charge of the Math was very strict and he did not take kindly to persons staying over, and especially was vigilant during the meal times when devotees would come down for food. One day, Maharaj noticed I was not keen to go to the dining hall for the meals, though he encouraged me to do so. But I told him about the strict mood of the in-charge, at which he immediately told me that the prasadam plate which he brought on Gurudev's behalf was there and I could have the remains of that, while he said that if he went to the dining hall, there would be no questions asked, as he was the servant of Gurudev and recognized by all. I was fortunate, too, to have that, of course. I did not always take advantage, as he was fully engaged in the service of Guru. Another time, in those early days, I told him that I was out to shop for some devotional scriptures, and he immediately gave me 1,000 rupees extra to buy the books, which was a lot of money in those days. I used to perform worship, but had no place for my Giriraj, and he said, "No problem, you place it behind Gurudev's bed." And it was after that Gurudev inquired whether I was doing some worship on seeing the Giriraj behind him. As far as I know, he was very devoted and entrenched in his service to Gurudev, especially during those times of frequent ill health. And I can vouch that there was no better diligent service performed by any other servant single-handedly. Actually, to be able to perform such service and be able to please the spiritual master is not an ordinary thing, as Gurudev had many servants from the start, but I understood that he was dear to Gurudev. He had a good memory, in the sense that he would be engaged in service with little time for reading, but would be able to recollect the words of Sri Guru and the pure Vaishnavas, which was actually the real point. Another point is that especially in the early days, he would always be more keen to listen to Harikatha than speaking, giving everyone else the chance to speak. In those days, he would be able to eat heartily 2 prasadam, unlike us. I am an ordinary devotee, and there is definitely a veil of difference between me and Pujaniya Maharaj, as an Acharya is the manifestation of the Supreme Lord. Therefore, I rest my pen here. Bhakti Sharan Damodar Maharaj, God Brother.
It's really a golden opportunity to glorify our Guru Maharaj, the divine guest, Bhakti Bodhayan UK Maharaj, the President Acharya of Sri Gopinath Gauriya. And to be very frank, for the last 40 years, I've been associated with different kinds of saints for the devotional life. I've come in touch with so many self-realized souls, but till death, I've never come across such a liberal, such an open-hearted, such a magnanimous, self-realized soul in my life. Although I'm his god brother, I'm very proud to serve such a serve the lotus feet of such a magnanimous self-realized soul. I take it as a privilege to serve this lotus. And as long as I will remain alive, I've already made a pledge, I made a promise in the core of my heart. To the last day of my departure from the material world, I'll be serving his lotus feet like a menial servant. Not that I'm God brother, so I enjoy the same status now. Although he loved me, respected me like anything, since I'm very skillful. Among all the sannyas and brahmacharis, I'm just thinking, all right. Even this morning, before he left this temple, he came and offered donations because I cannot do it. Because when it's a book, you will give me one book. Yes, Maharaj, I have already sent the book, but you have not received it, I'm arranging. So one book I know recently by Bhaktivinoda Thakur. Actually the lecture was in English, and I translated that book into Bengali. So this book has been released on yesterday. Who wants came to know this, so he wants a copy of it. He loved me so much. Once, one incident, when I came here about 10 years back, that time he was in America, so United States of America. I've come here. The Pradyumna Prabhu was in charge, he was in charge. So he kept, because this new building, the Prasad building, was not built that time. Only this building and the outside guest house. So he put me in some good room outside guest house. But when he came to know that I have come here, he told Pradyumna Prabhu, why you kept there? Because the outside noise is coming, because he's a person who is always immersed in bhajan, in devotional practice. So this outside noise, din and bustle are coming and disturbing him. No, I don't like you. Bring him here. You put him right in the room, below my room, this is the best room for him, because my Guru Maharaj's Samadhi, plus I am living, and there is no other outside sound and disturbance. This is the best place for him to stay. So as he came back after a long tour, so I told Maharaj, I want to start whatever pension, small amount I can get from the government. Oh, no. I don't want any monetary benefit from your side. I know very well you have been associating with your Guru Maharaj, with the disciple of Prabhupada Bhakti. And I know very well that you have got very, very close and hearty relation with your spiritual master. And you have had, within the long 10 years of his tenure as the Acharya of Gaudiya Mission Bhagavajan, Your Guru Maharaj has gave you the most intimate association. I want that. You must speak Harikatha. And your Harikatha, right now this lady came yesterday, many sadhus, sannyasis spoke, just saying, but your speech impressed me very much. Why? Because when I speak, I can feel that Guru Maharaj, including even the spiritual masters, present spiritual masters, B B Bodhayan Maharaj, they are all always with me and they are actually encouraging me to go further. Because I want to preach the glories of such a glorious, such a self-realized, such a magnanimous, such a person who is preaching all over the world, who is preaching the principle of universal brotherhood and divine love, as came preached by Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. So my life is committed to the hearty and sincere service of such a beloved spiritual master like Bodhayan UK. Hare Krishna.
Sri Gurave Sri Gaura Chandraya Sapari Yugal Kisoraya Cha Brajadhamaya Purusattam Chetraya Radhavanaya Cha Namo Namaha. Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare. First of all, I pay my humble obeisances unto the lotus feet of my Paramaradha Guru Pad Padma, Om Vishnu Pad, Paramhamsa Swami, Ashtotara Sata, Srimad Bhakti Vedanta Srila Vaman Goswami Maharaj, Om Vishnu Pad, Paramhamsa Swami, Ashtotara Sata, Srimad Bhakti Vedanta Srila Narayan Goswami Maharaj, with all associates Prabhupada, Saraswati Thakur, entire Guru Vargas. Especially I convey my Dandavat Pranam to Bhakti B B Bodhayan Maharaj, who does puja. In this occasion, some of his devotees and disciples requesting me again and again to speak something about Srila Bodhayan Maharaj. So, his Gurudev Srila Bhakti Pramod Puri Goswami Maharaj, disciple of Prabhupada Saraswati Thakur, after sannyas he gave his name Bhakti B B Bodhayan Maharaj. First have to know what is the meaning of Vibhud and what his name is Bodhayan. Vibhud means that is 20 suffix pra, para, apasamani, tinil, dur, vi, paripadi, surga, like this way. What suffix will do? Will increase the meaning or mood of the word with which is connected. So Vibhud, Bud means what? Bud means Pandit. A Pandit who has Vedajala Buddhi, he'll call Pandit. Vibhud means Pandit, scholar in special way. Who is that scholar? Bhagavatam telling, Hayam Ditya Dabhinivesata Sat Viparjayo Smriti Tanmayata Buddha Vajattam Bhaktaike Sam Gurudeva Tatma. Who will know Gurudev is my very near and dear like my soul. Knowing this, who is doing bhajan, he is Buddh and he is Vibhud. So, Srila Bodhayan Maharaj, knowing this, he is doing bhajan of Krishna this special way. So, his Gurudev gives this title Bhakti Vibhud. Bodhayan, Bodh plus Ayan, Bodhayan. Bodh means Gyan, Bodh means Buddhi, Ayan means Ashray. He is abode of all kind of knowledge. What knowledge? Means like Bhagavat Tattva Gyan, Bhakti Tattva Gyan, Sadhan Bhakti, Avidya Bhakti, Prem Bhakti, all this knowledge who has. And then what Bhagavan will do? Bhagavan told, Dadami Buddhi Yogam Yenamam Upajanti Te. Who is taking my shelter, I give him Buddhi. So intelligent. So both means Gyan and Buddhi. To whom Bhagavan giving intelligent and who has this knowledge, lives with this Tattva Gyan, of Bhakti Tattva, Sadhan Bhakti Tattva, Avidya Bhakti Tattva, Prem Bhakti, etc. what mentioned in Gaudiya Kanthahar. Who has all this kind of knowledge. And Ayan, Bodhayan, Bodh plus Ayan, Ayan means Asya, is abode of all this knowledge and Buddhi. So once I was with him in America, San Francisco. Another place I was with him in Jagannath Puri, 20th February, where the Indian President, Mr. Ramnath Kovind, along with his good wife, came about the occasion of Prabhupada Saraswati Thakur. Then all we combined, give Deep Prajwalan, and we give lecture with President last 20th February 2022. Before that, 3 years before, I was in America, San Francisco, one resort. We was there, the Bodhayan Maharaj, myself and others. So Bodhayan Maharaj doing Annik, taking so much time, about 1.5 hours. Later I asked Maharajji, what is that I cannot understand? Why too much time? He told, I chanting 108 times all mantras. So I have heard from Srila Gurudev, and Srila Sanatana Goswami had shown this, how to get perfection in mantra. There are 5 steps. In that, one is called Nas. Nas means if you chant the mantra of our Aradha Dev once, you will be very happy. But for the satisfaction of presiding deity of mantra, you can chant 10 times or 108 times. Both are valid. Mostly chanting 10 times, Srila Bodhayan was chanting 108 times. Why so? It is mentioned by Rupa Goswami Pad, Smartabbo Satato Vishnu, Vismartabbo no Jatuchit, Sarve Vidhi Nishada Suratayo Revakin Kada. The more we spend our time with the connected with Krishna and Krishna, then we more benefited. So we try our level best to concentrate our mind for this chanting mantra. While Maharaj is chanting 108 times, then have to concentrate mind, then we can, who will do this, they can concentrate mind and focus very strongly and very easily. Each and every mantra of Gayatri mantra is chanting 108 times. That means what? We think, oh, somehow other we have to chant Gayatri mantra very fast. But no. So Maharaj is example of this, and he is doing all this very nicely. So I hope by this my presentation, Srila Bhakti Vibhuti Bodhayan Maharaj and his followers and disciples will be very happy, and Maharaj will bestow his mercy upon me. Hare Krishna. Vancha kalpataru bhascha kripa sindhu bhaya vacha patitanang pavanebho vaishnavebho.
So the first time I met with Srila Bodhayan Goswami Maharaj, it was in 2006, and I was not even initiated yet. And at that time, I felt so much attracted by his charisma, by his very humble mood, and his very deep Harikatha. And then I thought in my heart that I want to take initiation from him. But I was not ready yet. I was not, I was just starting my spiritual life. So then he left Brazil and he continued his preaching. And then in the meantime, I came to know about my Gurudev, and then finally, of course, I was initiated by my Gurudev. But I always had in my heart that feeling that one day in future I will have to come and serve him. So, and what I see in Srila Maharaj's personality is that he is very much authentic in his way. He's very spontaneous, and in the way he feels, he expresses that. He's not keeping anything hidden in his heart. He's very familiar. He's very friend-like with everyone. He treats everyone as part of his family. he often says that I don't have disciples. Actually, they're all my family members. So I always felt like that with him. I always felt that he treated me as like a son. And even after I received sannyasi, when I came to see him, actually he paid pranam to me, because I am a sannyasi and he follows the etiquette. But then I told Maharaj, please don't do like this, because for you I'm not a sannyasi. For you I'm like your son. So if you pay pranam to me, I will never be happy with that. So what happened then, gradually, before he looked to me, I already offered pranam to him. So he will not actually respond to that, because I will never feel comfortable. But in his heart, he feels that he has to give respect in the proper Vaishnava etiquette. He's not thinking that I am acharya, I am more advanced than others. No, he's very humble and he's respecting everyone accordingly, and he's not expecting respect for himself. So this is the proper Vaishnava quality, Trinadapi Sunichana. And that is very touching, because after you start traveling with him and staying on his intimate association, you can easily see that he is no different from when he is in the public, or if he is on the stage, or if he is in his headquarters. He's the same personality. He has no duplicity. He has no any desire for name, fame, and worship. So therefore, that captivates the heart of those who are sincerely looking and seeking for the proper sadhu sangha, like pure Vaishnava association. And I heard also from Gopal Prabhu, who is one of his servants, that sometimes Maharaj, he is overdoing, he forgets about his body and he just push to the maximum of his capacity, and he becomes very tired. So what Gopal was doing, whenever some devotee was coming to him, Gopal was telling, oh, Gurudev is sleeping, Gurudev is taking rest. But he was not, but just to preserve him. And one time, Srila Maharaj, he heard that, and he became very angry with Gopal. And he told Gopal, if you speak like this to anyone again, you never come to my room, never be allowed to my room anymore, because I am here to receive and serve all devotees. I am not here to enjoy eating and sleeping. So we can see how Srila Maharaj, he is giving his whole energy, his whole heart, his whole life to the service of all Vaishnavas, and how he takes care of his disciples, and how he takes care of the devotees, of his guests. We can see during this parikrama how he is feeding everyone accordingly. He has different kitchens for different devotees' necessity. And he's always asking, did you take prasadam? How are you feeling? Are you sick? He's always concerned. And he remembers each and every aspect of the last conversation you had with him. And sometimes he will surprise you, saying something that even you forgot about what was spoken, and how much he is thinking, how much he is absorbed and preoccupied with the welfare of the devotees. So this is the genuine love and affection that we always hear that Vaishnavas, they should manifest. And apart from that, Srila Maharaj, he is coming in the direct association of Srila Bhakti Pramoda Puri Goswami Maharaj, who is a renowned Vaishnava as a Mahabhagavata Vaishnava. And Srila Maharaj has received directly from the heart of Srila Bhakti Pramoda Puri Goswami Maharaj all this power to be Acharya, all the power to realize the transcendental pastimes of Radha and Krishna. So I can recall one situation which also touched me. It was in that very first meeting I had with him in Brazil. he was describing once he had darshan of Lord Nrsimhadev, and he was giving all the details of how Nrsimhadev appeared to him, and how was Nrsimhadev's dress, and many things like that. And that was the first, experience I had with someone who is actually not living only in the material world, but someone who has access to all the transcendental, personalities. And then I felt for the first time how it is to be nearby one pure devotee, someone who can actually see Radha and Krishna, someone who can speak with them, not only just repeat Harikatha and speak pastimes, but someone who is eternal associate of the divine couple and Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. So in this way, I feel very fortunate that I have the possibility to be associated with Srila Maharaj, and I pray that I can stay forever under his guidance and taking his mercy and his blessings upon me. Hare Krishna.
Offering by His Holiness Radhanath Swami. Dear Shripad Bodhayan Swami Maharaj, I offer my sincerest Dandavat pranams to you. All glories to Sri Guru and Sri Gauranga. On the auspicious occasion of your appearance day, I bow my head to your lotus feet with sincere gratitude. Your illustrious life of dedication to His Divine Grace, Srila Bhakti Pramod Puri Goswami Maharaj, inspires our hearts. Your open-hearted kindness upon all Vaishnavas and compassion to all beings personifies the mercy of our Gaudiya Parampara. I offer my love, prayers, and gratitude to you on this special day. Your servant, Radhanath Swami.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Jaya Guru Deva, Jaya Guru Deva, Jaya Guru Deva, Jaya Guru Deva.
Jaya Guru Deva, Jaya Guru Deva, Jaya Guru Deva, Jaya Guru Deva.
Jaya Bhakti Pramoda Puri Goswami, Bhakti Pramoda Puri Goswami.
Jaya Bhakti Pramoda Puri Goswami, Bhakti Pramoda Puri Goswami.
Jaya Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Prabhupada, Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati
Jaya
Prabhupada.
Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Prabhupada, Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Prabhupada.
Nitai Gaur Hare Bol, Hare Bol, Hare Bol, Hare Bol.
Nitai Gaur Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Hari Bol.
Nitai Gaur Hare Bol, Hare Bol, Hare Bol, Hare Bol.
Nitai Gaur Hari